Hi. So we are here today to have conversation on a very important topic. This is being spoken about, I would say, everywhere, on social media, in news headlines, right, and even in our day-to-day conversation. In fact, this topic is also spoken in context of India, whether Indians will be ready for that phase. Yes, the topic I'm referring to is retirement. Well, when it comes to retirement, everyone has their own dreams and aspirations about retirement, but the conversation around retirement is heating up. So I'm Tuljan Sitarkar, and today we have with us our Chief Investment Officer Manish Kumar, who has joined us to have this insightful and engaging conversation on retirement. So Manish, thank you so much for joining us today. So Manish, to begin, as I said, there's so much conversation happening around retirement, right? What do you think is triggering this today?
Thank you, Tuljan. Yes, you are absolutely right. Lot of conversations around retirement, and rightly so. Most of us are aware that India has got a large young population. Yeah. We are aware we are a young demographics. But what people don't realize is we are also a very fast aging country. So while we have a very sizable young population, they are also going to age very fast. And it is only a matter of time when a very large number of people will actually be coming very close to retirement in the next 20 to 30 years. So that is one aspect we need to bear in mind as a country. Second, people are living longer. Healthcare facilities have improved.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
And lakhs of people above the age of 100 years. And it is only a matter of time when more and more of us will be looking forward to living longer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And while it sounds very good, all of us would want to live longer, yet at the same time, it is important that we plan our lives better so that we can enjoy our long life.
See, unlike probably few years back, people retired, because at that time, the working population was primarily into, a government sector. And most of the people who probably retired 2 or 3 decades back, okay, there was a pension, right? Yeah. But that's not going to happen, right? Because now if you look at our working population, most of them are in private sector. And that makes it just more important, for, I think, all of us, okay, to think, about those, that I would say long duration of retirement and plan better for it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Another interesting thing is today, if you look at the various generations, right? Okay, you have Gen Zs, you have Gen X, right? Today, if you look at Gen Z, they look out towards life it's so different. Yeah, for them it's all about living in the moment, right? And probably Gen X is very different. So, have you seen in terms of how these different generations, okay, do they look at retirement differently?
No, you are absolutely right. So, first of all, today more and more people are getting employed in the private sector, and therefore it is important to take retirement seriously, given that we are likely to live long. And you are absolutely right that across generations, the value systems are very different. Yes. So, for example, people in my generation, we look forward to a very stable and balanced life even after retirement. There is a certain way in which I am used to living currently. I would like to maintain my living standards even after my retirement. If you look at the millennials, they are currently focused on building assets for themselves, buying a house, planning weddings for their children, or securing the children's future in terms of higher education and things like that. So the priorities are different right now. And sometimes when you focus so much on these priorities, retirement planning actually gets pushed down. And then you have got Gen Z, where the concepts are very different. You are basically living the moment. But while they are living the moment, it's not they're not responsible. The concept is basically, there's something called FIRE. It's something that is being used by this generation, where they are seeking to achieve financial independence early, and at the same time you want to retire early. Yeah. Now this sounds very good. All of us would want to get rich fast. All of us would want to be financially independent, but it's easiest said than done.
So agree with you. If you look at these three, I would say 4 generations, right? Yes, for Gen Z it's all about fire. It's about moving off the treadmill as early as possible, right? If you look at people in let's say early 40s, as you rightly said, because it's a sandwich generation, there's so many other goals. When it comes to early 50s, it's about maintaining the lifestyle, and those people who are like retired on nearing retirement, I think for them it's all about being independent. Because at the end, I think the most important thing is after being independent throughout the life, okay, even those 2-3 decades of retirement, years, one would like to continue to be independent, and not depend on anyone. But do you think it's realistic for someone, okay, to have enough savings to live the retired life the way they desire?
I would think so. All one needs is to be able to plan well in advance. Okay. And I think, let me try and give you some examples to what I'm trying to say. So you are right that most of us are so absorbed in our day-to-day living that we don't think too much about retirement because it is so many years away. Let's live life as it is today, right? And that's the approach, and there is nothing wrong with that. Only thing is that if you do not plan and start early, it becomes that much more cumbersome later on. Okay. So all you need to do is you focus on, okay, if you are earning a certain level of income, how much your likely regular expenses are going to be, and you start saving a bit every month and every year as early as possible. And let me give you one example. Let us say you start planning for retirement and you start saving 1 lakh every year for next 30 years, and this is starting at the age of 30, let's say. That is going to earn 10% per annum. This 1 lakh of saving per year over 30 years, compounding at 10% per annum, will give you 1.25 crores at the age of 60. So it looks small. 1 lakh today per year is not a very big amount of money.
It's true.
But you are ending with a corpus of 1.25 crores.
So that's the power of starting early. And it's so important for one to start early.
So you are asking that, is it difficult? According to me, it is not difficult. All you need to do is you need to start early, and even if it is a small, so be it. Okay. Now let me give you another example. Suppose you are too engrossed in day-to-day living and you think right now you are not really in a hurry to plan for retirement, but you said, okay, I will start doing that at the age of 40 years. Now there is nothing wrong in that as well. But just look at the kind of impact it will have. If you start at the age of 40 years, and let us say you are still aspiring to reach a corpus of 1.25 crores, the annual investment will go up to 2.4 lakhs. So that is the kind of difference.
So it's a huge impact in terms of India.
Yes.
And I think as you move up in different life stages, okay, you have your commitments go up, right? And it becomes that much more difficult for someone to save money, okay, for these kind of long-term requirements.
Absolutely. And hence the importance of starting early, being regular, albeit small, doesn't matter, because that way you are able to enjoy living during the entire work life.
So retirement today is not about compromises, right? It's about planning for those years which you want to live and make the best out of it. But the key to it is about starting early. So if you start early, you can live those years on your own terms.